Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all doing really well. So here we are with another bookshelf tour. So I did say in my recent full library tour that my adult collection is probably one of the smaller ones that I have in my library. I don't read a whole lot of adult horror, but it's something that I definitely want to get into. I read a lot of YA in middle grade, and I do read adult horror as well, but just not as much. But a lot of these books have the most fantastic covers on them, and I can't wait to share them with you. And I think it'll probably invigorate me to pull down some of these ones, especially coming up for February. I'm going to be doing a lot of Gothic reads, so super excited about that. There is a little bit more adult horror on the shelf above. I'm gonna leave my Stephen King and Anne Rice collection until another video because they take up, you know, an entire shelf of their own, but I'll show you guys my paperback adult horror collection. There we go. I just had to make a little bit of adjustment there, guys. So first up, of course, iconic, right? The Exorcist. I only read The Exorcist for the first time last year. Of course, I've seen the movie a million times, but last year was the first time I actually read the book, and holy cow, I think it has to be probably my favorite horror book of all time. It literally scared the bejeepers out of me. So if you've never actually read the book and only seen the movie adaptation, I would highly recommend finally picking up the book. And the ebook is very scary. Next up, another iconic one, Rosemary's Baby. I also read this one for the first time in 2024 and absolutely loved it. Sorry about the glare. And absolutely loved it. So this is kind of the movie tie-in one. It does have Mia Farrow on the back. I have to get the sticker off. It has Mia Farrow on the back. So this particular edition is from 1968. It is one of the older books that I have in my collection, and I love the blue sprayed edges because it's just so vintage looking. I love this edition, and it is one of my favorite horror books. So if I find more editions of Rosemary's Baby, I will probably pick those ones up as well. And then next up, a wonderfully Gothic looking book. Just look at that cover. So this is The Death of Jason Darby by Georgia Elizabeth Taylor. The successful novel of a fated and haunting love. My goodness, I will probably pick this one up in February, themed with Lupercalia and Valentine's Day, and it has the most fantastic cover. I love this. It's just got all the Gothic feels with the castle in the background and the little damsel in the foreground. I just love it. And there's even a spooky tree. There's even a spooky tree on there, which just gives me all of the amazing Gothic feels. And then speaking of the Gothic, I did pick up a whole bunch of Barbara Michaels books last year. So we'll go through these ones very quickly. A lot of these have great covers on them though, and I've never read any Barbara Michaels, and talking to my friend E.D. Lewis, he was so surprised because I am very much into the Gothic. So definitely want to pick up some by her this year. And they had a whole collection. Now this one is not step back cover art. A lot of them that I did pick up though are. So I'll go through these very quickly. And like I said, really super excited to get into some of these this year. So this one is The Grey Beginning. This one, I love this. Smoke and Mirrors. So it is step back cover. Look at that creepy doll. Games of Power, Games of Fear. Someone's Breaking All the Rules. My goodness, look at that. What a fantastic cover. It's still shiny. It doesn't have any spine creases or anything. I love this. Next up, another one of my favorite covers. This is Prince of Darkness, and it has the wonderful pentagram with the black handles. And so this is just going to have all of the spooky feels that I want. And we have this like silhouette of an arched black cat in the background. So these are the covers in my collection that I really love, and they just don't make books like this anymore, really. Another fantastic one. So this is Be Buried in the Rain, and we have a wonderful mausoleum here. I'm sorry about any glare there, guys. It's really hard to not get any glare on these paperbacks, especially when they're in such good condition, which I mean, I guess is a good problem to have. And then just look at this castle. Isn't that great? So this is The Wizard's Daughter, a thrilling ghost story, a spellbinding tale of love and intrigue. My goodness, definitely something I want to pick up during my Gothic reads. And then this one is also a step back cover. So I don't know if it's picking up the vibrancy of this orange on here, but it's super, super vibrant. So we have a locket and it has the little kind of casket shape there. And then it is a ring on the inside. It says, a hidden legacy, a dark fortune. No one is safe from the secrets of the past. So love that cover. I just realized that a whole bunch of these still have to be de-stickered. It's a never ending task to de-sticker all my books. Here we have Black Rainbow, Other Worlds, and I love the purple on here. And it has the horse-drawn carriage in purple on here as well. And look at that. Oh my goodness. Fantastic. I love the art on these Barbara Michaels books. Someone in the House, and we have another step back cover. Look at that. So is she a succubus? I'm not really too sure. A midnight lover beckons. The moonlit terror begins. So another step back cover. Whoever designed the covers on her books did an amazing job. Then we have Walker in the Shadows. Is this the... Okay, this one is not a step back cover. And the last Barbara Michaels is The Crying Child. And I can't remember fully what the synopsis says on this, but I do remember that it was really intriguing to me. And it has this hooded woman that's looking very sad and forlorn. I think maybe she's lost her baby. And again, has to be de-stickered. So fantastic condition for these Barbara Michaels. I was so happy when I went in to the thrift store that day and found all of those lined up so beautifully on the shelf with absolutely no creases or anything in them. So they look really good in the library. Next up, we have a tour book, The Screaming Skull and Other American Ghost Stories. Anything with a skull on the cover. And of course, you can see the ghouls coming out from the mouth and the eyes there. I love this. It's just really unfortunate there's a huge crease down the front. And then we have this one, Under the Fang, presented from the Horror Writers of America, edited by Robert McCammon. Enter a nightmare realm where vampires rule, and we have like the vampire fangs here on the globe. This one is in really good condition. I got this one at the actual used bookstore, and I'm really super excited when I do like a vampire reading vlog again that I'll pick this one up. This one actually has to move because I have to move my Michael Slade together. This is Primal Scream. I've heard so much about Michael Slade lately, and I'm really excited to pick up at least one of his books coming up here. It says, scream if you must, live if you can. Then we have A Twisted Ladder by Rhodey Hawk, and it was just, you know, the old dilapidated house on the cover of this one that kind of drew me in. Then we have Witches. They are everywhere. Yes, they are. So we have this cat, and he has these glowing pentagrams in his eyes, which is super cool. I love the cover on this book, and he's all embossed, which is fantastic. I've heard a lot about this book, actually. Carrion Comfort by Dan Simmons. Dan Simmons is another author I really want to experience this year. It says, dark, macabre, epic horror in the tradition of King's The Stand. And just look at this little skeleton marionette on the front. I love any kind of cover that looks like this. So even if I don't like the book itself, I will definitely have a cover like this in my collection. All right, just had to come on the other side here. So a book that I've been saying that I want to get to for years and years. This is Boy's Life by Robert McCammon. So I know McCammon is Kelsey's favorite author, one of her favorite authors. And I've been wanting to get to this one for a really long time. I think I have it downloaded on audio as well, which might help with how big it is. And then we have this phone kind of hanging down here. I can't remember what this one is about, but the title is wonderfully embossed. I'm not sure how this one got up on this shelf. This is very random. It shouldn't be up there. It should be with my R.L. Stine collection, but we do have Hit and Run. I have a couple of John Saul in my collection. I've never actually read anything by him. And to tell you the truth, I haven't really had the urge, I guess, to pick him up, but I do have some in here. So this shelf needs a little bit of reorganization because there's some John Saul up on the next, the back shelf there as well. But we do have Suffer the Children. We do have another McCammon. So this is mine. Across a landscape of terror, a desperate mother battles a human monster to save her baby. And this one is a wonderful step back cover as well. So I did read one McCammon last year. It was called Ball, and it was actually really good. So I'm excited to discover more of him. We have the Baxter Trust. This is embossed here, so it's a skull kind of in a key by J.P. Haley. So this is an author that I don't know. We do have one Charles L. Grant, and I love the cover on this book with the campfire and the spooky trees and the moon up above. So this is The Sound of Midnight, and I haven't read any Charles L. Grant. I did download another, I'm not sure if it's a novel or a collection of short stories, onto my Kindle over the holidays. So I'm hoping this is another author that I'm going to discover this year. I know he is very much loved. Then we have Brainchild by Stephen R. George. So I can't remember what this one is about. I think it's about telepathy though. It says A Nightmare Come True. And then some classics, of course, by Frank DeFelitta. We have Audrey Rose and For the Love of Audrey Rose. I've heard mixed things about this duology or series, whatever you want to call it. But I just love the covers on these with her little Mary Jane shoes and everything. I probably will give them an attempt at some point, but I'm going to go into it with a little bit of skepticism on if I'll actually like it. And then last, before I have to do some reorganization here, we do have the Anne Rice trivia book for devoted fans of her dark fictional world, 1,000 Questions to Test Your Unearthly Knowledge by Catherine Ramsland. So I found this one at the used bookstore very, very early last year, or maybe even the year before. And it has this wonderful little skull motif here. So, I mean, really it should be with my Anne Rice collection, but they're all hardcovers, and this one being a paperback, I just kind of stuck it in at the end there. So I'm going to do a little bit of reorganization, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just took down that first layer. So first up here, I love the cover on this one. This is Dark Lullaby, When the Innocent Die, Terror Wakes. And this is one I've been wanting to pick up for a while. This is by an author named Jessica Palmer. And this is a one that I've wanted to pick up for quite a while. It's one I got off of Etsy a few years ago and just haven't gotten to it. Honestly, I do, like I said, one of my goals this year is to pick up a little bit more out of my adult horror collection. So we do have a Clive Barker. This is Cabal. At Last, the Night Has a Hero. And this one I did get out of a book club box years and years ago. This was in one of my very first hauls on the channel. I'm kind of looking forward to picking this one up too. Bare Bones. This is Conversations on Terror with Stephen King. And I think this would be really, really good for any prospective author to pick up, or any Stephen King lover. I do have Stephen King's On Writing as well. My mom had her copy still, and she gave it to me for the library, so maybe I'll read both of those this year. And this is one that I definitely want to pick up this year, probably even next month. This is Blood Farm by Sam Siciliano, and it says, sorry guys, my eyes are terrible. The harvest is Blood Farm's prime terror, and you can see here that the house kind of looks like a skull, and it has the hearse here, it has a spooky tree, it has a full moon and a haunted mansion, and it just has all of the feels. So this was one that I saw the other day that I said I'm definitely picking this one up soon. Another one that I got out of a book club box. So this is a Graham Masterton. I do have a couple by Graham Masterton, and I haven't picked up any yet. So this is Rook, Tooth and Claw, Horror at Its Best. So it was blurbed by James Herbert, which is another really famous author. So might want to discover that one coming up here, but I haven't really had any inkling to pick that one up either. We do have an adult R.L. Stine, Superstitions, and it says, terrifying, moves almost at trip hammer speed. My goodness. So R.L. Stine doesn't have too many standalone adult horrors, but I love the cover on this one. I know this one has a really random cover with like a lobster holding a gun. Say No to Murder by Nancy Picard, and I literally just had to buy this one purely for the cover, but it sounds like a pretty good story too, I have to say. Next up we have Possession by Peter James, grippingly intriguing from start to finish, also blurbed by James Herbert, the terrifying novel of the supernatural. So we all know that that is my main love. It's anything to do with the supernatural, so that sounds really, really good. Then we have a Jude Watson. This is Premonitions, and in the pupil here you can see the silhouette of a young man. This one sounds pretty cool, actually. I really love the cover on this. So this is all embossed. So it's Nightmare by S.K. Epperson. And so the spider web, the title, everything is completely embossed. And it says, "Pray you wake up." And I think it's this one that has to do with like experimentation, kind of. So that's kind of cool. Then we have this one, a really, really well-known book that I am super excited to get into. This is not the step back cover version that I have, but Headhunter by Michael Slade. So we have another Michael Slade, and this is one that I have wanted to pick up. I've been told so many good things, but I just haven't been able to get to it. And it says on the top, "A Real Chiller, the most gruesome I have ever read," by Robert Bloch, author of Psycho. So that's fantastic. We do have a Peter Straub. This is Houses Without Doors, and again, I mean, we have a theme in my library. Anything with skulls, bats, spooky trees, full moons, and haunted houses is my brand. So here you go. Here's another one. One of my absolute favorite books that's in my collection is Summer of Night by Dan Simmons, another Dan Simmons. I am looking for a little bit of a better copy because this one's kind of beat up, but we'll see what happens. And I say it's one of my favorite books, but I haven't actually read it. However, the cover on this book, so we have these lanterns, we have an old-fashioned window, and then when you open it, you have these young boys on their bicycles, and it says, "School's out, now it's time to learn fear." And I think if that's not my most favorite cover in the library, it will be a very close second. I love the cover on that book. This is another one that I love the cover, Deadhead by Sean Hudson. We have this young man sitting here with a VHS and a knife. He's obviously murdered someone. It just has all of those wonderful vintage feels though, so I do want to pick this one up at some point. Another very, very random cover. So we have Murder at the Final Floor by C.C. Reisenhoven. The bodies pile up faster than the free throws. And I love the cover on this book as well. This is all embossed also. So we have a skull going into a basketball net. So really, really super random, but I love the cover on this one. We have The Sphinx by Graham Masterton. I actually completely forgot that I had this one. Save the Last Dance, another one that I absolutely love the cover. This is a book by Judy Miller, and it is a step back cover, so we have this skeleton hand that's reaching out from the curtain, and look at that. One of my other very, very favorite covers in this library. I love this. Isn't it fantastic? Okay, just had to come over to the other side here. So next up, yet another one with a spooky haunted house, and we have clouds and not bats, but we have some birds and we have some lightning there. So this is House of Fear, and who is the author? Edited by Jonathan Oliver. So I don't know if this is a collection. Yeah, this is a collection of spooky stories, so that's fun. I love rediscovering what's in my library. I own so much that, you know, sometimes I forget what I have. This one is Kane's Touch, and another really, really great cover with these blue sprayed edges. So this is by Saul Wernick. So if I happen to mention any that you guys love, please, please let me know. And then we have On the Edge, Stories from the Brink. This is a very, very dark cover, but it is edited by Lois Duncan. It is a kind of a trade-sized hardcover, which is pretty cool. So this was a gift from another booktuber. His name is Cryptic Coil. I will have him linked down below. He gifted this one to me, and it is definitely something that I would like to get to because, of course, Lois Duncan is, you know, very, very well known within the horror sphere, but don't know her very much for just editing short stories, so that's very, very cool. Then we have yet another skull. So we have the Boneyard for the first time in paperback. So another anthology. Then we have Harrogate by Daniel H. Gower. And so this is a pretty cool cover. Another author I know absolutely nothing about, and I haven't heard anybody else talk about him, so let me know if you know this author. Then we have, look at this. I love this cover. So cool. The Ghosts by Antonia Barber. Lucy and her brother were about to cross the spectral barrier into a strange supernatural mystery. My goodness. We have a little burning house down here. Getting into a couple of John Sauls. We have Second Child. I think I might actually unhaul these. I don't think John Saul is going to be for me. We have When the Wind Blows. Let me know if you think I'll like John Saul. Most of you guys know the kind of books that I like. We have Midnight Voices. And last but not least, we have The Right Hand of Evil. If I were to read any, sorry about the glare, this one has a little bit of a metallic cover. If I were to read any John Saul, it might be this one because, of course, it has a spooky house on the cover with a little fire down front here. So if I were to give him a try, it would probably be this one. But I'd really like to hear from you guys if you think I would like his style of writing. We have Addison House by Claire McNally. So another spooky house on the cover here. Fits right in with our bingo card. We have Night Hunter, so Skulls and Bats. This is a book by Michael Reeves. We have Something Wicked, and I don't know if you can see this spooky ghoul in the background here. So we have, I believe, a trumpet that has like this ghost sort of coming up, and the little kind of gothic candelabra and the curtains. I mean, it has all the feels. So love the cover on this one. Obviously one that I haven't read. So we're definitely going to have to prioritize some adult horror here in 2025. And then last but not least, on the adult shelf, yet another skull. This is The Unholy by Michael Faulkner Anderson. And this was a random pickup from the thrift store early last year. So, I mean, I think it was on for like $1.99, so I went ahead and grabbed it.